Welcome to Catalyst for Healing. I am Maria Lloyd, licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm here today with Stacey Nye. She is the founder of the Ashbury Center and the co-creator of the F.I.X Code, and she is a life coach here to talk about a new healing technique called the F.I.X Code technique. And this helps people with anxiety and depression. So I'm so happy to have you with us. She's here from Samoa, where she currently lives. And
Yeah.
why don't you share a little bit more about yourself, Stacey?
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to your show. This is pretty exciting. Okay, so yeah, I'm the co-founder of the F.I.X Code with Daniel Fleer, who is the creator and founder. He's by no means is this my technique. I just went the day that I met him 15 years ago, almost 16 years ago now, my goodness, my first session changed my life. I was definitely borderline like in that depression mode. I definitely had a lot of anxiety, so I swung between depression and anxiety in a
Yeah.
moment. Yeah, so I feel every one of you. And my first session changed my life. My first session was sad. I felt sad. I really did feel sad, and about the trauma that I had gone through, a separation, all of these kinds of things. There was a bunch of stuff all that happened like back to back to back that just took my foundation out, just knocked me on my butt. A friend of mine actually made this appointment for me. I was not seeking help. I was not in that place. Everything was way too much. There was, I was just like, I was not seeking help. I thought I could do this myself and white knuckle it. And anyways, my dear
Which a
friend,
lot of
she made
people
me.
think, by the way, especially when they're hitting rock bottom, because you're in a denial mode of like, I can do this. And you're not even seeing yourself clearly because you maybe were more high functioning before. So I
Oh
don't know
my
if that
gosh.
makes, but I mean, that's where people are resisting help and they're getting worse and worse and worse.
So really, like, I was born into a truly a Nike commercial. My parents were overachievers. My sister was born an overachiever. I too am an overachiever, and we just never stopped. Our family was a Nike commercial. We were an Olympic family. Both my parents were part of the
Oh, wow.
Olympic Games in '76. I grew up in those years of 0 to 7 was the 1976 Olympic Games in Montreal. I was born in Montreal, so that was
Wow.
my playground, like watching the Olympic Stadium be
So
built,
high,
watching
high,
the
high
athletes built.
achieving. Yeah.
Yeah, like crazy, like crazy, crazy. Yeah. And we kind of never stopped. And
Mhm.
so having to deal with like depression or anxiety, which was just like, again, Nike commercial. It's like, so what? Do it anyways. Like
Yeah.
there was no conversation in my head of whether I was doing this or not. It was just like, am I doing this right now or am I doing this in 2 seconds? Like
Yeah.
that's about as long as I had to process. So I didn't understand fear. I didn't really understand depression. There wasn't a lot of time to do that. So when I got knocked on my rear end in my 30s, my mid
Okay.
30s, um, I not only the night that this all happened was I'm holding a pregnancy stick in my hand and I'm walking outside to like kind of announce what many people are like one of the biggest moments in their lives. I was
Mhm.
like about to do this, and a car crashed into our car, and then all hell broke loose. And in that one night, I lost almost everything that I knew
Yeah.
4 minutes before that. My life was pretty awesome. I contracted all over the world with the Olympic Games, the large events, like very high achiever. So when I was at the next day, as hell has come screaming into my life, and again, we don't all need a trauma to end up being depressed or kind of locked in depressed or locked in anxiety. It's just life, and our
Yeah.
world is a little bit bonkers right now, like truly, and our world has been
Yes.
bonkers for 20 years. So if you're 22 listening to this, you kind of were born into bonkers, where I'm 56, so I had the 70s, which were like it
Yeah.
was pretty chilled, like we hung out at the pool, we rode our bikes, we went to the store for popsicles, everything was safe.
Life was
Like
simpler
you
for sure.
Life
Yeah.
was way simpler, it was getting a little more complicated in the 80s, but yeah, I'm a teenager, so whatever, but
Yeah.
this is bonkers. So I'm a mom of a 22-year-old, so I know what the last 22 years have been like on this planet, and it's been
Yeah.
bonkers. So I am now in this place of what I called hell. It was
Mhm. Mhm.
terrifying. I was anxious, and prior to coming on the show, we talked about what anxiety looks like and feels like in the energy world and what
Yeah.
depression feels like and looks like in the energy world. So depression looks and feels like in the energy world heavy, weighted down. It's too much. It's heavy. I can't think. Everything's foggy. Everything's
Yeah.
thick. Okay.
Dark.
You're almost like
You
very
can't
dark.
even
Yeah, yeah.
move. Yeah. Your
Yeah,
body's like
like
frozen.
you're in sludge, right? So this technique lightens you up. Right? Like every time we do the work, you get lighter. And then anxiety in the energy world and in the frequency world is way up here. So
Yeah.
you're like, get it.
Yes.
Like
Calm down.
you're up like this. Yeah, you're trying to calm down. So this technique actually brings you down. It brings you more into grounding. You're not so up there,
Yeah.
exposed, vulnerable, like way out like this. Like it's almost like this technique kind of swaddles you a little bit, brings you back in a little bit. Okay. It centers you more, and it's very powerful. So yeah, so when I got knocked on my rear end, I lived in silence, white knuckling it because I
Mhm.
actually didn't have any skills. I had zero skills. There was no YouTube. There was no Google to
Right.
like trying to figure out how to do all of this. And
And
so I
probably
white
nobody
knuckled
in your
it.
family had experienced this because they were so high achieving.
Yeah, and it was almost like, where did Stacy go? Like, what
Yeah.
happened to our daughter? Where's my sister? Like, my
Mhm.
sister was like, "Where's my sister? Like, where's kick-ass Stace?" And I'm like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't find her." Because I didn't
Yeah.
know what was happening.
Right.
6 years I lived in silence. So any of you
Wow.
that is out there
6
living in
years is a
silence,
long time.
I can hear you, and it's overwhelming. Every single minute becomes more and more and more overwhelming, and you can't think, and there's more panic, and there's more depression. So
And the
please,
aloneness is what makes it so much worse, and I think
oh,
that's why I'm at least thrilled that education is out about mental health and kids are talking about it. I mean, it's like
yeah,
living in that isolation, like you said, in an era where it wasn't talked about or only the severe people went to therapy.
yeah,
Again, it makes everything worse because you feel like nobody gets it and you can't talk about it.
yeah. Well, and I didn't even know how to talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
to think that I'm on podcast talking about this now is wild, because I
Mhm.
truly am very, very private.
Yeah.
So I wasn't telling anybody anything out of just privacy. Like, it's
Yeah.
not their burden, it's not their stuff. Like, it's happened
Right.
years ago. Like, I've got to get over this. I've got to figure it out, which I'm really good at figuring stuff out. So I'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Right.
But yeah, thank goodness for this friend who popped her head into my office, as I owned a gymnastics club for 5 years while I was doing all of this too. So
Oh,
no time to not go to work. And I had a
right.
5-year-old, no time to not go to work.
Yeah.
So
You're in complete
I had,
survival mode, still functioning, but heavily depressed, anxious.
yes, and highly functioning on the outside,
Yeah.
completely cracking on the inside.
And that actually
So,
is a lot of people. I mean, you'd be surprised
oh,
how many high functioning, like very heavily depressed, anxious people are living on this planet.
I know. I've
Yeah.
met them now. Over the last 15
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
it's like I am meeting them because they're identifying with me.
Sure.
Many of your audience may not identify with, the high fun, all of those things, and that's fine. It doesn't matter, because I was where you are. I
Yeah.
couldn't get out of bed, and I had to. And because I had a 5-year-old, that's it. I
You
couldn't
don't have a
wait till he went to
choice.
school,
Yeah.
you know, because all I wanted to do was cry. When he
Yeah.
got out of the car, the tears started. I got to work, they had to stop. I had to reapply my mascara, and then, run a business all day long. But anytime I went to the bank, I was crying in the car. Like, anytime I
Yeah.
was not at the gym, I would be like just going to get a coffee just so I could like release the tears, saying to the
And
coach,
that
"I'll
went
be
on for
back in like."
7 years.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
it was, yeah, and the last part for me, that like when the bottom really fell out, was when I got separated. Like, the guy of
Wow.
my dreams, because in this trauma, he didn't come out the same. He was different. We were
Yeah.
different, and it was just,
Mhm.
well, like, we lost it all that night. And so this particular day, when my girlfriend said, "Hey, Stace, like, we don't know what's going on. We know something's up, like,
Yeah.
but you do so much for so many people every single day in this community, for our kids, for, at all levels." And
Right.
so she said, "I ran into a friend of mine I went to high school with at this trade show last weekend, and he's doing this woo woo thing, and it freaking works." So she said, "I hope
Wow.
you don't mind. I've made you an appointment for Friday."
Mhm.
And I just said, "Thank you very much," as there was tears coming down my face.
Mm.
And I went to this
That's a
event. I
good
went to this,
friend. I love that she just made the appointment, right?
she just did it. Yeah,
I
she just
love
did it.
it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and, she said, "He's coming to my house on Friday, and you're the first appointment." I'm like, "Thank you so much." So,
Yeah.
as I'm driving to this appointment, I don't even know the guy's name, and I thought to myself, "If he makes me drink toad pee and it works, I'm drinking toad pee. I'm
Yeah.
doing it. I need to feel better." And because I don't drink alcohol, I'm
Mhm.
had to drink since in, like, early 20s. I'm in my
Yeah.
50s, so long, long time. And I don't use medication or anything like that. And partially because it never crossed my mind. It
Mhm.
never once in all of those years even crossed my mind to go to a doctor, to go see anybody, to get medication. Like, never
Wow.
crossed my mind. Not even
Yeah.
not even once. Because again, I
Mhm.
didn't know about it at all, and I wasn't saying
Yeah.
anything, so nobody was saying anything to me. So
Right.
anyways, I'm now walking into this woman's house with hope for the first time in a long time, I've actually got hope and praying that this works. So when I walk in, I said to this person in front of me, which was the strangest thing I think I've ever said in my life. I said to him, "Oh my gosh, you're real." And he's
Mm,
like, "Wow." Like he knew me, I knew him. I had seen him in my visions my whole life. And I'm, again, never talked about my visions in my life. Like that,
mm,
again, very like I thought everybody had them, but he was very much like a guide, an elder, an advisor, like that kind of thing. But anyways, he was real. So the moment he saw me, he could see my sadness. So
mm.
I started to cry. He started to cry. He was like, "Okay, hang on, let's sit down." He sat down, and then he did the work with me, which took 5 minutes. And I'm happy to say that you've tried this, so you know what I mean when I say it
I
takes
know.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
And the release was so profound and so like I was in a different world in one session. Now, that doesn't happen all the time.
yeah.
This was just my moment to change my life. And when he did the work with me and he removed sad, because I was freaking sad, I couldn't feel sad anymore. I could see why I felt sad. I could see all the times
Mhm.
I was sad, but I actually couldn't feel it in my body,
Wow.
and it was really profound. So I spent
Mhm.
the next like 10 seconds doing a lot of swear words. Like I was like rapid fire swear words because I couldn't believe what I just experienced. And then I was in awe
Mm,
because one of the things I did grow up in was excellence. I know what excellence looks like, sounds like, feels like, that I know what excellence in service looks like, feels like. And this technique is made and created out of excellence.
mm.
It's pure. It's true pure. So there's
Yeah.
no intentions as if I do hope that all of your listeners take me up on my offer of going to our website and booking a complimentary session to try this. It's 15
I
minutes,
know,
it's
it's
free.
amazing that you offer that. I know.
Yes.
Definitely try it because yeah,
Yes.
it's a powerful technique. I mean, it really is.
That's so thank you because it really is.
Yeah.
So this particular moment changed my life because the next thing I said that I've never taken back, and it was the smartest thing I ever said in my life was, "I'm going to figure out what you just did and I'm going to teach the world how to do this."
Oh, I
Because
love that.
I'm not a practitioner in this sense. I mean, I
Yeah,
absolutely am a practitioner. But in that moment, I owned a gymnastics club. My background is operate internet. I don't do this woohoo stuff. Like this is not me, man. Like I
yeah,
don't have time for it, kind of thing. But this changed my life. That one
yeah.
moment changed my life. And I said, dude, I didn't even know his name. I was like, dude, I am figuring out what you just did, and I'm going to teach the world how to do this. I'm sharing this with absolutely everybody. And the poor guy was like, okay, okay. Hi, I'm Daniel. And I'm like, I'm Stacey.
Right.
Nice to meet you. Do you have a business partner? Yeah, well, you do now. And that was it.
I love that. All your
Yeah,
background came to the forefront and you're like, "I'm doing
y-
this."
I'm doing this. And yeah, and he was like, okay, Stacey, got it. New business partner, got it. Okay, great. Okay. So then we became instant friends. And
Yeah.
he's obviously my best friend and has been for years and years, 15 years now. And
Yeah.
from that moment, I put everybody in front of because never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would do this. Like,
Yeah.
no, never was I going to do this. Like, this wasn't me. This was what he did. And what amazing people that are practitioners and coaches and that kind of stuff, like, they do this. I'm not going to do this, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to figure out what you did and teach them how to do it, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
very business.
You co-founded the F.I.X code. When did that actually come into play? Like his technique evolved as you guys were working together and
Yeah, so I was like the crash test dummy for the technique. So
yeah.
as he was getting better, I was asking a million questions. I was like a 2-year-old. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Why'd you say that? Why are you doing it like that? He's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, just answer me. We're good. Just keep answering.
Right.
And I probably watched him work with 1,000 people at least.
Wow.
And, of course, I put everybody I loved in front of him because I was like,
Yeah.
"Girl, you gotta try this. Oh, you are a mad woman. You are an angry woman. I love you, but you are an angry woman. You are gonna sit your butt down here and you're gonna do this." My friends loved him, like, instantly loved him.
Mhm.
And I was watching my friends change. I was watching my friends' kids change. I was watching me change. I was really, um in awe of the results every single time. And to this day,
Mhm.
15 years later, I am in awe
I can
every
tell
time
you're
I do
so
work with
excited as you
somebody.
communicated about it. I know, I love that excitement. But shows
Thank
why you're
you.
passionate about it because you know it works. And I mean, what's
Exactly.
interesting is you called it woo woo, and I've been in the process of getting trained as a hypnotherapist and right now NLP certified. And so what I'm finding is, and we know quantum physics is
Yes.
real. And so the
Yep.
woo woo what's so cool about it is like it's now research based. I mean, because we've got Dr. Joe
100%.
Dispenza, who's research based. He's researched all this stuff, and it's so explain a little bit about, what are the
The
techniques?
science?
People hear woo woo, they think that's not going to work for
Yeah.
me. But like, where
Yeah,
does
no,
it
no.
come from?
Yeah, this is so not woohoo. Like this is
Yeah.
so I mean, if you want me to really go down, it's like Atlantean technology. So when you start learning this technology, you become the technology. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason I say it's like kind of an Atlantean technology is because in Atlantis, they were the technology. They didn't go outside of themselves to heal or
Mm-hmm.
to, right? They were the technology. So they could help people as themselves. They didn't need
Yeah.
gadgets. They didn't need content. They don't need to know the story. Why?
Yeah.
Because they understood that these things, sad, hurt, betrayed, are parasitic programs.
Yeah.
They were put here to mess us up, to keep us down, to keep us confused, to keep us running in circles. Many people call it the loop. Whoa, 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 right? Like
Yeah.
we can't get out of the loop. Okay, we can't stop thinking about it. But the way we teach this is it's real, it's science, it's proven, it's
Yeah.
people are talking about it now, totally mainstream. 15 years ago, I was like a quack. People were like,
Yeah.
Stace, like this is going to be an uphill battle. I'm like, it won't be. The world
Yeah.
is going to catch up to what we're saying.
Yeah.
And Daniel always said that the world's going to catch up, Stacey. I promise you. I'm like, good, because I'm sounding
Mhm.
crazy out here talking about parasitic programs,
Right.
but they are. And now
Well, the
everybody's
power of the
talking about the
subconscious and being able to utilize the subconscious with this work.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll do if I frame it this way, I'll kind of take you through the story from a client's perspective or like
Okay.
somebody that wants to try this. And this happens to all of us. There's a trigger outside, right? The purple sweater, my mom's calling or whatever it is. Okay. There's a trigger. What happens is that outside trigger activates something in our physical body. We call them
Mhm.
parasitic programs. Okay.
Yeah.
That parasitic program has a name, which is why the magic question works. Because I say, when you biggest problem you have in your life right now, when you think about it, how does it make you feel? If you could put it in one or two words, what would it be? Well, it's whatever that is. Okay. That thing has a name: sad, hurt, betrayed, disappointed, disrespected, all sorts of rage, whatever it is. It's activated. Now, what happens is you can feel that in your physical body. That is what the doctors are giving everybody pills for. These
Right.
things are hurting us. They're stealing our energy. We're
Yeah.
made of electricity, right? We
Hmm.
are really high in electricity. These things eat, they pull, they suck our energy
Yeah.
from our physical bodies to feed themselves, to survive. Okay? Because they're parasitic. They're parasitic. They don't know or care. They're
Yeah.
not trying to hurt you. They don't know. Okay. They don't have a consciousness kind of thing. But to survive, they need energy.
Right.
Well, we're made of energy. So we're a perfect host for these
Yeah.
things. So now let's say the purple sweater triggers rage,
Hmm.
and rage is sitting in your belly,
Right.
and you have digestive problems, you have belly aches, you have cramping all the time, or you're bloating, whatever it is, okay? This
Hmm.
thing lives there. So what happens is that with this technique, we not only learn, we take the karma. Some of us,
Yeah.
some people look at it as karma. Some people look at it just straight up learning. Like, if I learn this, I never have to do it again, right?
Yeah.
And then we take that parasitic program and you pull it out, right?
Hmm.
Through the coding. So the F.I.X code is coding. In
Hmm.
language, it's coding. So it's which is why we have to teach it. You can't just like copy it. Like you
Yeah.
have to know what it means. And because the unconscious mind, this is how powerful the unconscious mind is. It is running your physical body right now and has since conception without a blip. It's
Yeah.
not even thinking about how to make blood cells, your eyelashes, growing your hair, moving my hands. Like it's
Yeah.
not think that's how brilliant your unconscious mind is. Now, we look at these parasitic programs as they were dropped into, call it your motherboard, your unconscious mind. Look at it like a
Yeah.
motherboard. Okay. So
Hmm.
it's like a Trojan horse called sad dropped into my motherboard. And sometimes I'm bringing it in from past lives, this lives, whatever, wherever the Trojan horse was dropped, called sad.
Hmm.
And then all the stories that attached itself to that sad over my lifetime.
Yeah.
So I've got like a 9,000 pound bag of crap all in
Yeah.
my sad bag, all of
Yeah.
my sad stories, right? That, all your sad stories, when this thing wakes up, okay, the trigger goes off, this thing wakes up,
Yeah.
what happens is it moves. This is where it eats, this is where it gets its electricity, okay, it moves up, and
Hmm.
then it opens up into our mind,
Yeah.
not the unconscious mind, into the thinking brain. And
Right.
now guess what's happened? All of my sad stories, all 9,000 of them are now up here. And I'm
Yeah.
doing this when I was 2, when I was 3, when I was 4, when I was 5. And the stories just keep coming up and opening and shutting and opening and shutting. And every time I'm like, okay, stop it. Like that was like 9,000 years ago. Stop it.
Right.
Or
Right.
like, I don't even know these people anymore, but they're part of the baggage. Okay.
Yeah.
People call it baggage, but it's all now in our thinking brain. So once that happens and the parasitic program is now running all my stories, I go unconscious. I am not thinking. The
Yeah.
parasitic program is doing all of my talking, all of my thinking, all of my analytics, all of my what am I doing? How am I processing my day? Like all of it. And all this thing wants to do is go to bed and eat a bag of chips, watch a
Yeah.
sad movie,
Yeah.
turn on the sad radio, do sad things, watch
Right.
more sad movies, and eat more chips. So
Right.
it doesn't get to work. It doesn't do any of those things because the parasitic program is telling you to go to bed, go home. Like
Yeah.
you could be doing your chores, and if you have sad running you, you're going to get 2 chores done, not 10.
But I
And
would
you're going
say
to go through a
most
drive
people
through and
aren't
go
even
home.
aware of where it's coming from or right? I
Most
mean,
people
people
aren't.
get triggered and then the feeling is I was explaining it's like the current situation, if they didn't have any past history to it, would be like a, you know, 2 out of 10 in terms of scale. But when they're
Correct.
pulling in the past history, it's like a 9 out of 10 and they don't
Absolutely.
understand why am I getting triggered? And so this
Well,
is
and
kind
this
of
is,
what you're explaining. You've got this computer system built in your brain from your subconscious and all those memories. And so
yes.
you're
So what happened?
interrupting that, right? The
Yeah.
program basically with this
Yeah.
technique, and
Yeah.
you're creating a shift of removing the root is what I experienced when I did it with you. It's like
Yeah.
removing the root cause so that the present is not muddled with all, you know, the overwhelm
Yeah.
of those emotions.
Yeah. So if I stay on the computer thing, because that many of your listeners
Yeah.
are probably computer people,
No, I think
is
that's a great analogy.
yeah. So once it's triggered, okay, in the motherboard, it's like everything's good, everything's good. They hit sad, sad's triggered. Now
Yeah.
it's going to run, right? It's not going to stop. It's going to run now. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's running. So what happens is it's now up in my physical body. It's making my tummy bloat or cramp or whatever it's doing. Okay. That's happening.
Right.
Then it moves up into my mind. Okay. And now it's got all my stories going, which feels like a freaking tsunami. It could feel
Yes.
like a tsunami. You're like, or
Yeah.
like a building coming down on you, right? Like it's just too much. Okay.
Totally.
Because they're all there. And that's what was happening to me. They were all there. I couldn't get out of the sad. It didn't matter what way I ran. The building was
Yeah.
coming down on me. And I was just
Yeah.
like, please just make it stop. Okay. I remember doing that a lot. Just please make it stop. Okay. I couldn't make this stop, couldn't shut my mind off of all of this. And I was sinking into it physically too, obviously. So what happened is that if we see on the computer thing, is the file called SAD, it's a zip file and it's
Yeah.
got 10,000 files in it of all your sad stories and
Right.
moments. And now your zip file, it comes up, it unzips, and now it's all there. And you're
Yeah.
trying to navigate and manage all of this. Okay.
Mhm.
So what happens is that it's like having too many tabs open in your computer and you just
Yeah.
can't. You just can't. So what do? You just shut it down, man. You don't even bother closing all the tabs because you can't. There's too many. So you just pull the plug on the computer. You go to the wall, you pull it out. Or, we pull the plug. How many of us have done that? I'm pulling the plug today. I can't do it. I'm pulling the plug. I'm going to bed. Okay. I
Right.
used to say that. I'm pulling the plug. I
Yeah.
can't do this. So that's what happens. It's overload. So
Yeah.
when I met Daniel and I had the experience of SAD, it was like he went back to the Trojan horse moment or took me back to no, that's not even true. My unconscious mind took me to the Trojan horse moment.
Yeah.
And then we basically just deleted the files so that
Mhm.
when, like, you took the zip file and pulled it out. So when you came back to now, okay, so now you're in your unconscious mind. You're now flying past that point that was the trigger point. It's not there anymore. It's just
Yeah.
not there anymore. There's
Right.
nothing to trigger. So now you just feel like normal. You feel good. You feel fine. And nothing's happened. So I can say that very quickly after that session, I could listen to a country song, I could watch Hallmark commercials, I could watch sad movies, I could do all those things and not cry. I wasn't weepy Smurf anymore. So
Yeah.
this works with everything. This works with rage. This works with like any word that you can think of, any feeling that you can think of that comes to you that or you write down in your journal or whatever it is can be removed. We've also, in my journey of through this awesome experience of the last 15 years, I said to Daniel, because we were at this spot where it was like, he's awesome. Technique is awesome, but you are one person. That's not my vision. My vision is that there's like millions of you
Yeah.
doing this. So how
Yeah.
do we replicate this? Which is kind of my superpower because I actually did my career was 22 years with the Olympic Games. So
Right.
as an operations director. So like I love puzzles. I
Yeah.
love like how do I take a complex problem and turn it into a very simple solution?
Yeah.
Favorite thing to do in the whole wide world. So I took this technique, which looked like a very complex system, and turned it into an online training so anybody can take it. So
That's amazing.
yeah, it was fun. I said to him, "All right, here's the deal. I'm a total goof, and this is not my arena at all. So if
Mhm.
you can teach me how to do this, we can teach anybody how to do this.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
am total nerd, right? Like if I can do this, anybody can do this." And so he taught me, and then
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, I'm going to try to do this." And my son was my mother-in-law was actually my first one, the first
Hmm.
time I ever did it. And I thought I was going to be struck by lightning, like, you are not allowed to do this. I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, but I did. And she was like, whatever you just did, that was really cool.
Mhm.
And it was, I did anger with her on Christmas Day. It was awesome. And so, anyways, this will lighten you up if you don't feel good and will calm you down if you are anxious. And it
Yes.
works on absolutely everything. Oh, where I was going with this is that even if there's sounds that freak you out, that trigger you,
Mhm.
we can do this with a sound.
Wow.
I can do
Okay.
this with if you say to me it's a symbol, I can say, okay, I don't need to know the symbol, but you know the symbol, so is it okay if I just say symbol? Like we all are from different places. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different visuals over our lifetimes. We've seen different things. So there's no we can't in this
Yeah.
business in what we do. Like it doesn't exist because if something is thrown at me that I've never heard of before, I adapt and we
Yeah.
figure it out. And
Yeah.
it's just so there's nobody out there that we can't help. It may take some time. I'm still a client after 15 years. And the
Mhm.
reason is that I haven't stopped growing. I haven't stopped wanting more for my life. I haven't like I've never stayed status quo. I'm like, what we what can we do more? How can we reach more people? How can we, you know what I mean? Like I have to keep expanding. So
Yeah.
to stay in a certain spot where it's nice and cozy seems to be not allowed for me, and
Yeah.
most of us we want to keep growing. So
Well, and the growth
every time
mindset
I'm
is so healthy for all of us, right? Just to continue in that mode of growing
in
and
the
changing
creation,
and the
yeah,
creation
and
of
and
life.
for sure. And so I do have fears because I'm moving forward. There's nothing in the past anymore that's pulling me back. Like I've
Yeah.
healed all that, which is freedom, by the way, freedom, total freedom. When you're not
Yeah.
thinking about the past at all anymore, freedom. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. So please don't give up. Like try it. And if you love it, don't give up. Keep going because it will work. It does work every single time. It's that
Yeah.
the next one is up. Every time we remove something, the next crap shows up. I
Right.
know it's an onion. We've lived lives. There's a lot there. So
Yeah. And I
it'll
feel
take
like
more
for
than a
me, it
minute.
never ends. It's like whatever the present is presenting is always like pulling up something in the past that needs to get removed and healed. And it's just this like continual process. But
Yeah.
just to be a qualifier, because a lot of people looking for help with anxiety and depression, we've got the therapy world and we've got the coaching world, and they both approach things from such different angles. And my personal opinion is there's room for both. And, I work with a lot of highly sensitive people with complex PTSD, and they don't have any attachments. So we need to build an attachment. We need to work through some of the complex PTSD, but we
Mhm.
can incorporate this at the same time. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to be able to incorporate both, because it's not one or the other, right?
No.
It's like all these things I think can work together, but unfortunately, we've got these different methods of people doing different things. At this point, they're not really combined. But I
Yeah.
like what you said about that, because if someone's in a very severe clinical depression, if we're not working to get their mood improved, like you said, it's going to lift it a little bit, but they're also going to maybe stay feeling stuck and
Yeah.
frustrated. And so we've
Yeah.
got to be doing everything to
Yeah.
tackle that depression from all the angles, from the brain to the body to these coaching techniques to therapy. And I just
Absolutely.
like to clarify that, because any like quick fix can sometimes be discouraging for people that are really
Oh
in a
no.
clinical space, and
Yeah.
this is not
No.
what you're saying it is. It's like you
No.
said, you're still a receiver of this now. And so it's a fast technique that gets to the root, which I think
Yeah.
is powerful, and it
Yeah.
uses hypnosis. It uses some NLP techniques from what you've described, and there's science to it. And so
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's why I was excited to have you on, just because, again, we all need to try new things to figure out what's going to work for us, right?
Yeah. And I would always say, like, if you're with a therapist, stick with them. I
Yeah.
can just be like I can just be like your little secret over here. I don't care because
Yeah.
I know that every time we come together, you're going to feel better. And when you go back to your therapist, you're going to talk about something completely different because what
Yeah.
you were talking about before is now gone. Like you're not going to
Right.
talk about it because you're not going to care. And
Right.
then they're going to be like, excellent, let's move on to the next one. And then come on back, we'll get rid of that. I'm not a strategist. You know what I mean? Like that's not what I teach. So you had asked me prior to coming on, like, how do you label yourself? It's like, I am a coach. I am a
Yeah.
therapist. I am all of these things. Um,
Right.
in one session, I don't label myself as a therapist or anything like that in the wide world because I'm not certified in any of that. I am
Yeah.
an expert at this, but I give great advice. I give fabulous strategies inside a private session, and when I know the person, well enough to say like that'll work for you. Like if I said
Yeah.
to my son, dude, you know what, you really need to like start working on your physical body. I think you need to ride a bike. He would look at me and go, I'm never speaking to you again. Like, have
Right.
you met me? I'm not getting on a bike. Like he's the biggest guy you've ever met. So it's like, yeah, like you got to know you've got to know
Yeah.
your people. But absolutely, like I would say thousands of people that I've worked with
Mhm.
love having the team. And
Yeah.
and I think
That's what I
anybody,
love to say. It's like you need a treatment team to really get
yeah,
better.
yeah, because we're all doing different things. And you're right.
Yeah.
Like I love being part of a team. And many times I've been asked to like meet the other members of the team. And it's
Yeah.
like, absolutely, like, what do you need me to do? Like, I will
Yeah.
do whatever it takes to help that person to like, I want to support your systems and that kind of thing. Because I'm just like, the fix code is something in the background that you do as like a, let's get it done. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and tell you to like run 50 miles. I'm not going to do those things.
Yeah.
So I'm just one kick-ass tool in your toolbox that
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that works really
Really
fast.
work.
That's all.
Yeah. Good.
So and to me, it's like it helps with the big guns, like
Yeah.
sad, hurt, betrayed. Like when because I know the personalities of all of these parasitic programs, right? Like I
Yeah.
know what sad looks like, I know what hurt looks like. So
Mhm.
if you're feeling hurt and somebody hurts your feelings, you're gonna get quiet for about a minute, and
Mhm.
then in your head you get mean, you get vicious. Like that's the mean girls at school. Is
Right.
they're hurt. Their feelings are hurt.
Mm.
And, anybody that feels hurt out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You want vengeance. You want that
Yeah.
person to hurt as bad as, well, how about this? What if you didn't feel hurt anymore? Imagine the freedom that you would feel about never thinking about that person again.
Yeah.
Total freedom. You won't
That would
even think about
prevent a
them,
lot of those angry
right?
outbursts that people have.
And
Mm.
angry most of the time is hurt,
It's a secondary
right?
emotion. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean,
Mhm.
there is anger, but here's an example, the personality of anger. And it's the same
Yeah.
in every single person, which is cracks me up because it's not that complicated. Once you know this stuff, it's not that complicated. Anger, here's the three symptoms of anger, and you'll see it in everybody. Can't think, overwhelmed, and run out of time. So those are the symptoms of angry. So when we do the work and we remove angry, you never get overwhelmed again. You
Yeah.
can't, you totally can think, and you have all the time in the world.
Mhm.
I know. I've done it. I've done that. I've done angry with thousands of people, but and they write back, they're like, "You were not wrong." I'm like, "I know."
Yeah.
It's what happens. Like it's can you imagine not feeling overwhelmed, not at the feeling of being able to totally think? Because
Yeah.
anger jams your internal dialogue. You can't think.
Mhm.
You're like
Yeah.
screaming in your head. You can't think. And then you run out of time
Yeah.
because you can't think. You're going in all the wrong directions. You're like a chicken with your head cut off. You're just pissed off. Nobody knows what you're pissed off about and the day's over or the week's over. And you're like,
Yeah.
I didn't get anything done. So to everyone out there that feels overwhelmed, can't think, and runs out of time, do anger. It'll change your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Just do
It'll
one
change
thing
your
on
life.
anger.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Hurt.
thank you
And
so much, Stacey,
you're
because
very
we could
welcome.
go on because I love, your passion and
I
excitement
could.
about this and just the technique is amazing. So I'm going to put in the show notes. It'll be really easy. You just hop on and you can pick a time to meet with one of the practitioners to do a free
Yeah,
session.
yeah.
And so I encourage you guys to do that. And we'll have your information if people want to reach out to you specifically. But
Please do.
thank you so much for joining us. And it's just been
You're
great
very
getting to know
welcome.
you. Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you for all of like that you do. Giving people like me a platform to share is just truly, I
Yeah.
am grateful. And like I said to you, you can text me or email me anytime. And to all of your audience, please go to the website, click the button,
Mhm.
do the questionnaire. You'll be asked the magic question and then you'll answer all the questions. And it's just like a tick a box thing.
Yeah.
And then at the end of
Takes
it,
like a
it's going
minute.
to say, exactly, just submit. And then at
Mhm.
the end, there's going to be like book here. Click the book
Yeah.
here and you'll pop over to a practitioner page and then pick somebody that you resonate with
Yeah. Yeah.
and just like try it
Try
because
it. Totally.
just try it.
There's no
It's totally
there's
free.
no loss in trying it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
thank you so much.
You're very
We will,
welcome.
yeah, we'll see you guys next week at Catalyst for Healing. Thanks for joining us.